10 is Devil May Cry 5, which I can sum up basically in one word: finally. Not that DMC is bad, I know that people will disagree with me on that. A lot of people really hated DMC, but I thought in a lot of cases DMC did exactly what it was trying to do very well. It just wasn't Devil May Cry 5, and that's kind of what we all wanted, and we're all getting it now. It's Devil May Cry 5. It's the game that hack and slash people have wanted for years. I can't wait to play this game. It looks phenomenal. It's coming to PC as well as PS4 and Xbox One on March 8th. Number 9 is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, a game from Respawn that apparently is a single-player, lightsaber action type game, in some ways maybe even a little bit similar to Force Unleashed, game set after Revenge of the Sith. Now again, same era that Force Unleashed takes place in, however, you are a Padawan in this game, and you're trying to get by. Now this game is single-player only, and it is brought to us by the creators of Titanfall, of course. And let's just go ahead and say their campaign for Titanfall 2 was very good. It bodes well. It may be the Star Wars game we've been waiting for from EA, you know, after all the many games they've released. All 2 of them that have not been disappointments at all. Yeah. It's coming to PC, PS4, and Xbox One sometime this year. Looking at November, but we'll see. Number 8 is Hytale. Hytale comes to us by Hypixel Studios, the co-founders of the Hypixel Minecraft servers, with what looks like to be the intent of making bigger, better Minecraft. The game looks very much to be intended to work like Minecraft, with a creative mode that is obviously focused on building. However, they intend to have like coding resources and tools allowing you to actually put new things into the game. Everything from 3D models to cinematics to even mini games. We'll see how that works out when it comes to PC sometime this year. Number 7 is Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, which is actually one of my most anticipated games at the moment. I like to describe it as faster looking Dark Souls with a grappling hook, made by the Dark Souls developer, so it's not just a knockoff. Now, we don't know if it has any explicit connections to Tenku Stealth Assassin. From Software owns Tenku though, so it may, we don't know. It certainly shares some of the mechanics from it, that's for sure, and it may be a sort of spiritual successor, it may be something more direct, we don't know yet. We'll find out though when it comes out for PC and PS4 and Xbox One, March 22nd. Number 6 is Wasteland 3, a game that comes to us as a very interesting sort of both relic as well as side thing for Fallout. Wasteland, the original Wasteland back in the 1980s, inspired Fallout in a lot of ways, and Wasteland 2 did the same. Wasteland 3 now will be a squad-based role-playing game with turn-based combat, set in post-apocalyptic Colorado. It was developed by the same people who worked on Torment Tides of Numenera, which, yes, thank you. That's good. It's hitting PC as well as PlayStation 4 and Xbox One sometime late this year. Number 5 is Halo Infinite. Of course, obviously the next Halo game, which has been kept under wraps, even though this is technically the year. I suspect we'll probably get some sort of big presentation at E3 that's meant to market the game, but it does look interesting from what we've seen, which is, like I said, is very little. They intend to show us a very Master Chief oriented story, which is also good, and I think it's what we want from Halo, isn't it? It's hitting PC and Xbox One sometime this year. Number 4 is Resident Evil 2, the remake that came out a few days ago. That is amazing. I mean, there's really very little else to say about it. It's beautiful, it's gory, it's gross, it's hard as hell, and it retains all of the charm of the original while bringing it into a new era without seeming cheesy or strange. Resident Evil 2 is awesome. It's always been awesome, and it has been made into a modern game in a manner that doesn't taint the original in any way, which is beyond awesome, actually. That came out on PC. It's also out on PS4 and Xbox One. Number 3 is Doom Eternal, the sequel to Doom 2016, which, let's just go ahead and say this, Doom 2016, very good. Exactly what it should have been, as a matter of fact. An update that doesn't mess with the formula too much to make it not fun. However, it was brought into a much more modern context in a way that worked probably better than anybody thought it was going to. In fact, when I first heard they were doing a Doom remake, a Doom reboot, whatever you want to call it. I was kind of like, why? But after seeing it and playing it, I was kind of like, oh, that's why. Doom Eternal looks to continue that, and I think it probably will. It looks bigger, it looks more involved, and that's what I want out of it. Doom is the premier first-person shooter, the granddaddy of first-person shooters as we know them today. Doom Eternal is coming to PC, as well as PS4, Xbox One, and Switch sometime this year. Number 2 is Cyberpunk 2077, which is frankly just a huge deal just as it is. Night City looks to be very large, and it looks to be a landmark in open worlds on account how vertical it is. In a lot of ways, I've seen a lot of stuff that reminds me of Mirror's Edge, actually. Obviously, there isn't parkour that we're aware of in such a fashion, but despite its grimier look and its more wide color palette, I feel like there's some influence there that is worth talking about. We probably will later. Cyberpunk is just amazing looking. A first-person open-world RPG by the people who made The Witcher 3. Yes, yeah, give me that, thanks. And finally, number 1 is The Outer Worlds. In my opinion, probably the most interesting, if not the definite best looking. Like Cyberpunk 2077 is gonna be hard to beat. But Outer Worlds, it comes to you from the folks that made Knights of the Old Republic 2, the better one, considering that both those games are gold, is saying a lot. The creators of New Vegas, by far the best 3D Fallout game, the one that actually cares about being Fallout, and it takes place in outer space and kind of looks like space Fallout. Looks a bit critical of how things are as well. That's always good. That's a good basis for a story in my opinion. It looks vibrant, it looks interesting, and it's not a Creation Engine game because why would they even bother with that? It's not a Bethesda game, so use an engine that isn't garbage. Thanks for using Unreal, Obsidian. I'll be playing The Outer Worlds when it hits PC, as well as Xbox One and PS4 sometime this year. Some bonus games for you. Ace Combat 7, Skies Unknown. It has been a while since an Ace Combat game came out. Ace Combat 6 was arcade and simulation, sort of mixed, and it's been a while. It's been over a decade. Jake just did a Before You Buy a few days ago, if you're interested. That's the console version. The PC version is, of course, hitting February 1st. Next is Skull and Bones, the open world naval combat game based on the Assassin's Creed Naval Combat. I think that's all I need to say in order to be interested in it. I'm looking forward to it. It's hitting PC, PS4, and Xbox One sometime this year. Far Cry New Dawn, the first chronological sequel in the Far Cry series, taking place 17 years after the nuclear ending of Far Cry 5, so after a nuclear apocalypse. In fact, during the game, the world is apparently reclaiming itself, and we see a lot of nature and a very nice wide color palette, something I care about, obviously, maybe more than other people. I say that all the time. I see a good color palette, I'm like, yeah. Far Cry New Dawn is hitting PC, as well as PS4 and Xbox One on February 15th. Biomutant looks to be an action RPG platforming kind of mascot-y game, except for you have a lot of control over the look of your Biomutant. It's obviously raccoonish, but yeah, I think it's going to be a deep game with a faster pace than maybe your typical action RPG, but maybe a little slower than a hack and slash. I don't know, it looks really interesting to me. It's hitting PC as well as consoles sometime this year. Man of Medan is a game from the developers of Until Dawn. They are launching their own sort of cinematic universe. I don't know if we have a word for that in games yet, but the Dark Pictures Anthology is, of course, what they're referring to, Man of Medan being the first game. It looks to be the same kind of game, except for multi-platform and perhaps maybe a little more involved. It's hitting PC and a PS4 and Xbox One sometime this year. And finally, Left Alive, a mech game that looks like something from the PS2 era, except for with much better graphics, taking place in the Front Mission universe, something I want to play, like, a lot. Honestly, it looks amazing. That's coming to PC and PS4 February 20th.